Good day, Shay. How are
Hello.
you?
Hello. Fabulous. How are you?
I'm good. So, over in Europe here, we're having some tremendous weather, bringing out the best in everybody. Companies are smiling. They want to spend money. They see 2025 being a glorious year. And I've had some great feedback and great some response from our last podcast. So, look, it's a win-win all around. How about yourself? How
Good.
are you?
I am fabulous. We have amazing weather from Atlanta almost always. So we're generally happy here. And yeah, same. We're starting to hear, I think our clients are starting to get a little optimistic about, we had some interest rate changes. And so a little celebrations are starting to happen. We're seeing, the last quarter starting to have an uptick. So that's certainly good. And we had great feedback from our podcast, which is sort of awesome, I think. Sort of
Yeah,
awesome.
awesome.
Yeah.
Definitely. So,
So something jumped out, Joe, and it's your topic. It's your topic. It's technology.
yes.
Apparently we said technology is underutilized. When I say we, I'm pretty sure it was probably both of us. We said technology is underutilized, it's expensive, but it's necessary for companies to grow. So I had a plethora of comments about, well, what does that mean? How do we do it? Is it true that technology is under, because people thought it was just their company? So what do you think?
Yeah, it is a really good question. And, technology, in my opinion, it can be the lifeblood of a company. And there are multiple different types of technology. So we have AI, so we can chat about AI. Then you have management systems, then you have data analysis, and you have, cybersecurity, and then you have all the other pieces of technology. But the one thing that people ask about, why should I buy technology? So technology is designed so you make better decisions. Technology is there so you can cut costs and grow revenue. And one of the issues that a lot of companies have is, okay, what do I spend on? What do I need? There's no point buying some technology because everyone in your industry has it, and you can all sit around the next networking meeting and go, oh, I've got that as well. Oh, yeah, and I'll drink champagne, but no one knows how to use it. So the thing about technology is, first, one is, what problem am I trying to solve? There it is. How can this make my job easier? And how can this make my staff's job easier as well? Because sometimes when you get into having technology in your business, staff get fearful. They get fearful because they think it's going to do away with their job, or they feel that they may be hiding something and they might get caught out. And there's the two parts of psychological, mindset when it's brought into an organization. So what you have to do is first you see what is the role, how the technology can help people, and then tell your staff that you're investing in them for them to make their job better as well. So it's not there to watch them, it's actually there to help them. If you're looking at
What do you think about marketing though? So let's think about, I'm in marketing and advertising. And so marketing and advertising technology brings intelligence to identify customers, bring customers to you, increase customer satisfaction, current client satisfaction, those types of things. What do you think about? We bring this technology in. You have to convince the CFO or the CEO that this is worth the spend. And there's that period where somebody buys something, they're looking, as a CEO, I'm looking for immediate results. Show me the efficiency, all the things that you just talked about. Show me. So what do you think about the time? What's a reasonable timeline when you invest in technology to see deliverable results and to see
well, the
that
first,
investment has an ROI?
okay, the first thing what you're going to do is you're going to have a drop off. Okay, so no matter what you're doing, you're going to have the curve is going to drop. And the reason why the curve is going to drop, it's new technology. People are learning, it's starting to understand it. And at that moment in time, someone might go, hang on, we're losing things, even in sales or if you're building departments or whatever. And then you have to see the up curve. And that up curve then should grow. So I have a rule of thumb that if you are implementing something 6 months, that's my rule of thumb. 6 months, 3 months to get all the kinks out of it and for everyone to understand it. And then the 3 months then after that is to watch it grow. And it's about testing. When we're talking about marketing and we're talking about data analysis and we're talking about that whole department, it's testing, tweaking, testing, seeing what the value is, understanding that there's proof in the tech that we have purchased, and then analyzing how this can actually grow a business. And some of it is just there, depending on what you're doing, say even in marketing, is just there for awareness. So sometimes you can't manage awareness, but you can actually see it when you don't have it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does to me, because I am a technical person that is a CEO. So when we're looking at technology here, it generally runs through me. We look at the data, technology. What do we need first and foremost to make this implementation successful? And since we're implementation specialists and we do a lot of data work here, we look at the data as a foundation. What's the foundation of our current tech stack? What are we going off of? What is this purpose? And what's our timeline to success? And I can tell you, when you say 6 months, and the CEO part of me says, what the hell? 6 months? So we're going to invest in this? You're going to tell me 6 months, am I even going to be alive in 6 months? What the hell is going to happen? So, then I pose the question, when do you think then it makes sense for a company, if let's just say they're on a calendar year, it's going to take, we're looking our calendar year. It's, we're right now 24, we're going to go in 25. It's September for whatever year. And you're looking at your next year. You have a budget plan. You have a goal for clients. And so when is it optimal to begin to really look at investing in technology, knowing that you're going to take away, you're going to have this dip, and you've got to meet your numbers in the next year, because, I don't care about the implementation of technology. Our numbers are still our numbers. And so how do you rationalize that if you're talking to a business owner and you're advising, you do a lot of advice on technology and bringing in tech to grow your businesses? How do you advise somebody on that?
If you're in doubt, you have to see the value in it. And it's not about 6 months, or it's not about a calendar year. It's about the long-term organization. And if someone is investing in software, they have to look at it long-term. And they have to say, okay, if we're going to take this on board, we have to be committed with this to get our money back and the value of it for over 3 years. That's what they should be looking at. Let me use an example. Management systems. So you have companies within the construction industry who just have the likes of Sage, or they may have an accounting package. And then they may have a bolt-on for, say, the warehouse, or they may have a bolt-on for, the cranes that they have on the plot. And all these are trying to talk to each other. But if you get the right system in place, that system in place will talk between all the different departments: account, management, middle management, parts department, service, on the ground, even expenses for when your guys are on the road, calculating all that, feeding that back into the channel for the management system up to C-suite executive, which they can then look at the data and make better decisions. Now, why is a system like that so important? And I describe it as the system itself is like the veins in a body, okay? And the blood that flows through those veins is the data that is being flow through the management system. And that then keeps everything alive. And a good management system will have a CRM on it. It'll have all the different tools. And then with that, you can feed in your marketing. You can feed in your sales process. You can feed in everything into it. And it gets you up to KPIs that you can actually look at and say, okay, we're doing well. We have a way of growth, of path, how we can grow a business. So the question, going back to the question, is it can take 6 months for all the team to work on something. You will have people leave because it'll do away with their job.
Yeah.
Okay. You will have people leave because they feel they don't have the confidence or there's been something going on. And you will have new people come in. And what happens is the company starts to make changes and grow. And there's a new lease of life in it. But you'll also find in it that there will be elements that actually helps that you didn't know what we said before. You didn't know what you didn't know, but you know now to grow it. Okay. So that's the whole technology when you're looking at a company for 360. And then there's all the different departments. But the big thing what people are asking about now in technology is AI. How can AI benefit us? And I say to them, said, look, it's speeding things up. Don't rely on it 100% because artificial intelligence is actually machine learning. It's not intelligent. It's machine learning. And it can make stupid people look intelligent.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
And all you should be using, it shouldn't be used to replace somebody. It should be only used to start the process. Example, have you ever tried to sit down and write a big, huge document and you go, oh God, where do I start? AI will help you create that. And then you use your own creativity to further it on. Does that make sense?
Makes complete sense. I think right now, we have a lot of businesses just looking at, it's been a down year for a lot of people, and they're looking at, what do we do? Do we invest? Is this a good time to invest? I say yes. It's a great time to invest, at least in beginning to plan for the problem of technology. And it makes sense to do. So I think we agree on those things.
What's the biggest company can do when there's a bit of a downturn? Pull the plug on marketing. We know that.
I know.
And what they should be doing is, I've worked through many recessions and we've made more money in recessions when other people were reading the paper and seeing the doom and gloom. And we'd be going, okay, what strategy can we use? And the beautiful thing about technology, it's helping you make those decisions. So look at LinkedIn. We met on LinkedIn. That's a technology. LinkedIn is a Rolodex. It's a big Rolodex. LinkedIn can create personas of all the people that you want to follow. It'll mark off who you want to connect with if they post something. Facebook as well has those offers. So all these small little pieces of technology can assist an organization in growing. But my advice to people is spend wisely. Don't jump on the latest fluffy gadget thing that you've seen on YouTube that you need to have, that wiper washer that doesn't clean windows,
Right.
And
throwing out a big net. Don't invest in something that doesn't deliver a good data return.
But
something
also
precise.
Yes. Also, when you have to invest in the time, you have to invest in the technology. So don't buy something and just plug it in and go, oh my God, what is this? It's not working. You have to invest in the time, and your management structure needs to allocate that time, because in the end, technology will make life easier. You'll have less hassle and you'll make better decisions as well. So that's with the technology. And then it falls into the people that you have on the floor. How competent are they? A company will look at technology, but I think you also need to, which is another part of it, is invest in your staff, train them up. You could have someone working in your company for 20 years and the company's having a bit of a dip, and you may go, Johnny's not doing the job he used to do. Johnny's well able of doing the job, but maybe you've neglected him, and invest in him to train him in new software so Johnny can be better than what you're expecting him to be at that
or
moment
do something completely different. Maybe you marry into a passion. Now this is something they're into. That's what we saw here. We had a lot of people that worked 20, 30 years, and now they're thriving in an area that they finally have an opportunity to thrive in, whether it's data structure or technology or writing true content without AI. AI starts it, but now then they can add the human element.
Yeah. Are you seeing AI as a benefit when it comes to looking at data for yourselves as well?
Yes, because it's speeding up the process, it's speeding up the data structures, it's answering questions faster, but it still requires humans to look at it to gain the insights. So
Yeah, we're never going to be in a world. We're never going to be in a world where technology takes over.
no,
And
try to get Delta to change your flight on Delta through the AI assistant, or ask a question that's different than what they predicted the majority of the questions are. And the frustration shows you that AI is never going to be replacing humans.
okay, here's the one I want to ask the audience. When you're on a chatbot, do you go through the chatbot for the information? Are you like me, where I go, I want to speak to a human?
That's what I do. That's what I do. I'm not a human.
On a human on it. So look, one of the things that an organization then, if they're looking at technology, first what they need to say is, why do I say it again? Why do they need it? Okay. The second part is who who's in the organization that's competent enough to actually take this project on? What are the goals that we need to have? What is the time frame that we would like to have it in? And the last thing is, what is the cost of it to the profit that we're going to make? Because at the end of every day, you have to look at what was the revenue that I've after getting back from this.
Yeah. All of that. I expect timelines on my projects. I expect situation analysis. What's the situation that we're trying to solve this technology, use this technology to solve? What is the behavior that we've seen so far? What are the acts that are warranting, pointing us to we need this? And then what are the results we're looking for? So I use an S-bar method. And anytime anybody comes forward to my team, I'm like, tell me the situation, tell me the behavior. What have we seen? What have we observed? What have we done actionably thus far? And then what are the results we expect to see if we take the action of the technology implementation that you're suggesting? And
Yeah.
so that's what I look at. And I look at timelines. I look for early wins too. Let's look at, just put our toe in the water. We're heading in the right direction. Or, because sometimes you're deep in and you have to do a complete pivot. So you have to be realistic. And you have to be really like, if you made a bad decision, maybe it's looking like you made a bad decision. Then let's figure out how. Is it a bad decision, or are we doing something poorly? You just got to keep going. You can't just pull out too quickly.
No,
but I do like checkpoints.
You can't make bad. I don't think there's bad decisions. I think there's wrong decisions.
There you go. There
But
you go.
you change it on it. Also, with technology and the way the world is at the moment, is just I want to touch on is cybersecurity, and it is very, very important. And it's so crazy that we know that when we're creating passwords and security for a company, there has to be some sort of protocol. And I remember there was a cold cracker. This was years ago, and he was speaking at a gig, and he was hired by the FBI. I'm paraphrasing the story he was telling, and he went into London, into Piccadilly Underground. If anyone knows London, you have the Underground, and they basically had a basket with donuts, and they said to people, if you give me your password for work, we'll give you a donut. And the amount of people that gave them passwords were unbelievable. And
they
he
were probably
said,
spectacular donuts.
they must have been, yeah. And then another time they did it with coffee and pens, and people just gave them. So even though you're protecting your environment and your company, some people may all give you the password or whatever, but it's nothing. But he also said it's amazing the amount of people that have passwords like password 123 or, 123 password, that if you, and the only way that when someone can hack you is either knowing the password or clicking on a link. So if you ever get an email that comes in and you're unaware of it and you see a link on it, be very careful. Like we've even got to the stage here at our organization that if something comes in, we grab the email and check the URL to see
Yeah,
is
we
it
do
a
that as well.
website. Yeah,
Yeah.
because there was one organization that we were aware of, and the accountant got, hey, will you pay such and such? I think it was 60, 70,000. Here's their new bank details. They went out, the CEO sent it to the accounts, and then the accounts rang a couple of weeks later, says about something else, and says, oh, by the way, we're about to send that, X amount of money. And they went, what X amount of money?
Of course, yeah, that's terrifying. Well, even here in the US too, especially heavy equipment, the interfaces are electronic. They're manufactured. We have a lot of in the US. Where were these manufactured? Where is this motherboard from? And right now there's a lot going on with our ship to shore cranes and our cranes and our crane business. And where are our cranes coming from? Are they coming from friendly countries, not friendly countries? They're all electronic right now. And so much of the electronics and heavy equipment and the security associated with those motherboards and those screens. So it's your organizational passwords and security. And then it's also using this equipment and, it's collecting information and potentially collecting information and delivering it, and could be hacked as well. So you could be looking at what's coming out of our ports and registering all of that, whether it's, done by other countries or hackers that are coming in and just tracking the use of this equipment. And some of these projects, these large projects, are national security projects. So technology is really interesting. And they don't think about it with heavy equipment. No, but it's really there.
Look, when a new, piece of technology comes out going, oh, this is going to solve the problem, the hackers are, oh, we've got a new project to work on.
Right.
So you solve a problem, you create another problem. You solve a problem, you create another problem, and so on. And that's business. That's
innovation. That's innovation. That's ingenuity. It's how we advance. Yep.
Yeah. So with technology, I would say the first thing is, what you want it for. That's it. With data, look at the marketing. Look at technology with marketing. What can you use? You can use Google, YouTube, social media, and then you have print. But it also
identification trackers get identification resolution. Those are a favorite of mine.
You can look at, you can check to see what company was looking at your website, how many times they looked at your website, what pages they looked at your website. So all the information is there. You just need to know what you want it for, really and truly.
And you have to interpret it. It's there. What do you want it for? And how are you interpreting that journey? Is that a buyer? Is that somebody going negative? What does it mean?
But it's no good.
So if I'm selling my company, last question, because I know we're out of time. We probably went over. If I'm selling my company, or I'm not really selling my company, but 60, 65, whatever, I'm thinking, I thought this time I'd be retiring, but I'm still working. And there's all this pressure. Should I invest in the company? Should I leave it, just sit tight and wait? If I invest and I decide to sell my company, is there value in that investment for the buyer? Or do I lose money because I've invested? And does the buyer, look at that as a negative? How do you think about that?
Great. If you have technology in an organization, it's an asset. Technology is an asset.
Yeah, even if the buyer has a different technology, I think technology is an asset.
Yeah,
I think technology just shows that it provides data. If you're a buyer, if I buy a company and it has technology, then I have a higher confidence in the information that I'm extrapolating from that company.
Yeah,
I can find out more things in diligence. It's an asset.
Yeah, when you're selling it, it adds value to it.
So don't delay.
Don't delay. And I'll leave it on this note. Technology is only good as the people that use it.
And not the AI that uses it.
Not the AI.
All right, Joe.
On that note, if anybody wants to reach out to us, they can catch us and ask questions, and we should be able to home in on that. And any of those questions, we will use the oracle to find out.
There you go.
Okay,
Thanks,
good
Joe.
talking to you. Bye.
Bye.